what's up? Stella here. I've been meaning to kind of catch up with you guys face to face. Obviously I haven't been putting out too many videos recently. I've been trying to figure out some games to play, which I have a few on the list for a new playthrough. It's always hard for me to find a new game to play just because I've played through most of them on stream, but there are lots of indie games and a lot of one-offs that we can always do. So I wanted to talk to you guys about something I've been struggling with for the majority of my life, and that's just me being happy with myself. Most of you guys know me as being super competitive, and that kind of stems off of me not being happy with myself. You know, there are some days that I feel better about myself. There are some days that I feel really happy with how far I've come, and I just feel more accepting. But there are also some days where I just feel the self-loathing is just off the chart. It's one of those things where it's a constant struggle. It's not gonna be over at some point in time. It's just a constant struggle for me. I've always been able to put my energies into things that I love and be able to kind of ward off the feeling of just anxieties about how successful I am, about where I am in my path of life. Sometimes though, doing what you love, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna feel happier. You know, sometimes you need a break from everything. You need to just shut everything down and just take a day to breathe. I love streaming, I love making videos for YouTube, but sometimes it can get a little overwhelming and I have to take a step back. There was a time recently that I was watching a stream and I realized that I wasn't really happy with where I was. Sure, we've been making a lot of progress, we've been growing so fast, but at the same time, you see someone else who's had the same amount of time streaming as me and you get a little discouraged because they've already been partnered, they already have tons of sponsorships, and then you look at yourself and you say, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You are perfectly fine. You are comparing someone else's success to your failures, and that's not what it is at all. And I have to remind myself of that all the time. When I find that I'm unhappy with myself, I immediately become competitive against someone who doesn't deserve my competitiveness. Like someone who just is minding their own business, and I start comparing myself. And that is the biggest issue I have with becoming happy with myself, is that I'm just constantly comparing. And I have to remember that that is not a healthy way of going about it. The healthiest comparison that you can do for yourself is possibly your past self and your future self. And I think you have to look at it in a way that makes you feel like you've grown. As long as you're growing, as long as you're learning more about yourself and accepting those parts of yourself that you have learned about, I think that's the most positive comparison you can make. And sometimes I don't do that, and I am very guilty of that. So I recently got taken on as a part-time produce clerk at a grocery store. And I know it's the smallest thing, it's the smallest job, but getting a job in California is the hardest thing to do because everyone's looking for the same thing that you are. Everyone's trying to make, you know, part-time job money while searching for something else so that they can fulfill their dreams. And I'm just really happy because not only will I have money to pay for like dance classes, voice acting classes, I'll also be able to help support myself while streaming, you know, doing YouTube. I'll be able to afford more equipment, and it'll just be better for my mental health because I won't feel burdened by the thought of, hey, I'm gonna struggle to make money this month. It's the small victories that make me feel better about myself, and I have to remember it's a victory for me. It may not be a victory for someone else, maybe someone else who was working a dream job, but we all started somewhere, and I have to remember that, and that's just drive that point home. I guess what I'm getting at is it's okay to struggle with accepting yourself. It's just look at yourself, look at your past, look at where you are now and where you want to go, and realize that you're not alone and struggling with this, and that the thing is you have to just focus on yourself. Someone else's successes are not your failures, and you cannot compare yourself to someone else because situations are completely different. Don't let someone else make you feel like a lesser person just because they're doing better than you. Whether or not they do that to you personally, or you create a scenario in which the comparison between you and that person is pushing you to believe that you're inferior. That's something I do really well, and it's really annoying. I know it got really personal today. Usually I don't go this in depth about my struggles with self-acceptance, but it does feel really good to be able to just talk about this, to rant about things. So if you guys have anyone that you can talk to, please do, because it will help you out so much, and they'll be able to tell you things that they know about you that they love, like your good traits, and it'll make you feel so much better, and you'll just be so happy. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to this weird rant that wasn't even a vlog thing, but thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next video. Please keep an eye out for future playthroughs. I do have some stuff in the works for Ghost Recon, also separate indie projects. So I will see you guys later. Bye!